coming up. A fire breaks out at a duplex in Joplin Housing Authority complex. One wheelchair-bound resident had to be rescued.
After we got the rain chances out of here the other day, we just got to deal with the heat and humidity today. We'll break down the forecast coming up.
Also, we'll take you to a family farm that opened its doors to the community for some fun, family, and fireworks.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5 a.m. I'm Jalen Banks.
And I'm Nick Kelly. Jalen, is this your first 4th of July down here?
It is my second, actually.
Okay, so probably the last 4th of July was kind of tolerable temperature-wise.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Have you dealt with any hot 4th of Julys back home?
I'm from the north, so probably not hot compared to here.
Okay, so this might be your first taste of how hot and humid a 4th of July can really be around here. But at least we got a rain chance this holiday weekend out of here last night. So we're looking okay from 7th and Range Line. You can see right before your very eyes. Quiet look from 7th and Range Line. But boy, the rain chances really delivered as we went throughout the course of the afternoon and evening. We had a bevy of scattered thunderstorms. Thankfully, they petered out by about 10 o'clock last night. But we actually still have some aerial flood warnings for all of Woodson and Wilson County just because there could still be some low-lying spots or poor drainage areas that could still possibly see some minor flooding. But our main focus for today and for much of the week, unfortunately, is all these heat advisories for the entire area, taking us all the way until midnight going into Friday because our last front is finally to the north and east of us. That is going to allow us to really experience a hot and humid 4th this go around. We're in the mid to upper 70s at the 5 o'clock hour. The forecast, your first look at it this morning, will be pushing 83 by 9 a.m., 93 by noon. We'll have highs near 98, but with the humidity, Jalen, is going to make it feel like the triple digits, maybe 105 at worst. We'll see how we look for the festivities tonight, and unfortunately, we got to look at the rest of the week because it's going to stay hot and humid too. We'll break it down for everybody here in a bit.
Yeah, that 98 seems to be pretty standard for states during this time of year.
Yeah, and so do triple digits, and we'll break down when those can arrive coming up here in a bit.
All right, sounds good. Thank you, Nick. 2 men are dead in 2 separate crashes in Southwest Missouri. One crash happened Saturday night just after 7:30 on I-49, 2 miles south of Sheldon in Barton County. According to the Missouri State Highway Patrol, 57-year-old Wayne Sprinkle was riding a motorcycle and swerved to avoid something in the roadway, lost control, and overturned. Sprinkle was pronounced dead at the scene. The other crash also happened on Saturday night, just after 9 on Elder Road, about 4.5 miles west of Diamond in Newton County. Officials with the Missouri Highway Patrol say 51-year-old Brian Bradley of Diamond was riding an ATV when it traveled off the roadway. Authorities say Bradley overcorrected, and that resulted in the ATV overturning. Bradley was pronounced dead at the scene. The Grand River Dam Authority Police Department says they received a body from the Dripping Springs area of Grand Lake. Officials say they received a call regarding a cliff jumper that did not resurface from the lake around 6:30 Saturday evening. The GRDA says water rescue units arrived on the scene and recovered the body about 30 minutes after the incident. The investigation is ongoing and no other details were released. A church bus is rear-ended on Missouri 96 just west of Oronogo. The crash happened Sunday morning just before 9:45. Officials say there were 6 people on the bus, which was from Crossroads Baptist Church in Carthage. The incident happened on Highway 96 near County Road 230, about a mile west of Oronogo. There were no injuries reported at the scene. A fire breaks out at a duplex in Joplin's east side. On Saturday, officials say just before midnight, a passerby saw flames at a duplex in the Joplin Housing Authority complex at 409 South Ozark. When fire officials arrived, they found heavy smoke and flames showing. No one was home at one of the duplexes. However, emergency responders rescued a wheelchair-bound resident from the other duplex. The fire marshal has been called in to investigate the cause of the fire. However, officials say it appears the fire started in the shared attic space above and spread between the 2 units. The Parsons Historical Society has added another piece to tell the story of the city. On Saturday, they held a ribbon cutting celebrating the grand opening of the Farm Heritage Museum. The museum has farming equipment dating back as far as the 1800s. Over 100 people were in attendance.
Well, anytime you see a turnout like this, you can tell that the people loved what you've done. And I mean, if nobody would have showed up, you knew that we screwed up. But as it is, the turnout here, I would say there's probably well over 100 people here.
The Farm Heritage Museum is now the third museum of the Parson Historical Society. The Country Road Family Fun Farm is celebrating their holiday weekend by bringing people onto the farm for food, fun, and fireworks. The Family Fun Farm is closed for the summer, but opened its gates because they felt it was important to celebrate the holiday with the community.
Well, we are a very patriotic family. We love 4th of July. We're the type that's always blowing stuff up anyway. We would set off all kinds of fireworks whether we had a fun farm or not, but we figured since we have the fun farm and we love to blow things up, why not invite people to join us?
The Country Roads Family Fun Farm is located at 15144 Highway 97 in Stott City, Missouri. The Set Ranch Prosperity and the Royal Slab Car Club partnered together to put on an inaugural car show in celebration of the 4th of July. The goal is to give people, groups of all backgrounds, an opportunity to express themselves and celebrate the 4th through their cars.
One of our main mission is to level the playing field for the socially and economically disadvantaged, and that includes a lot of people that are from other races, other cultures, and so we wanted to make sure we include everyone. And cars are an expression of people's culture and people's taste and their characteristics, and so they speak a lot about a person.
For more on this story, just go to KOAMnewsnow.com.
Okay, look at our forecast. Once again, we'll start with a recap of how today's looking so far. We'll push temperatures quickly near 93 by the noon hour, pushing 98 for this afternoon. Fortunately for tonight, we'll keep things dry with partly clouded and mostly clear skies throughout the area, but look at how warm it is still by 8 o'clock. 91 degrees, 84 by midnight, and then dropping back to 78 degrees. And a quick glimpse at the 7-day forecast. We're pushing 99 on Tuesday, lower triple digits for Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday with the high humidity. We'll have those temperatures feeling like 110. That's why those alert days are up, and we'll be lucky if we can get a few storms by the way things are looking by about Saturday. Jalen?
Well, that's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News, the Joplin Outlaws are on a 4-game losing streak, and they take on Diamond against the Nevada Griffins. Did the bats break or shriek? Plus, the 4th of July is finally here, and millions of travelers made their way to the beach for the holiday. And chances are you've got some grilling to get to before your holiday is over, but be safe. We've got some tips for how to keep your cookout food safe. You're watching the KOAM Morning News, more real news in the morning. We'll be right back.
In sports this morning, the Joplin Outlaws landed on some rough times in the last week. The Outlaws have actually lost 4 straight, and they've fallen to second place in the Mink League South Division. And on Sunday, Joplin tried to right the ship on the road against the division rival Nevada Griffins. We'll kick off highlights starting in the top of the third. The game was scoreless until Garrett Chun shoots one back in the center. Bases loaded, by the way. It's a 2-run single, giving Joplin the first score of the night. Later in that same inning, though, we have Sam Fagan getting up. He, with that swing, gets one through the left side. That scores Chun in from third and extends the Outlaws' lead to 4-0. Then, Carl Junction product Carson Johnson, he had a pretty good night, and he goes the other way with that shot. The 2-run double for Johnson. He goes 2 for 3 on the night and drives in 3. A big win for the Outlaws as they won against Nevada last night with a final of 12-1. The Kansas City Royals split the first 2 games of their 3-game series with the Tigers. The Royals drop a heartbreaker back on Saturday night, giving up 2 home runs in the 9th and falling 4-3. KC tried to rebound to take the series back on Sunday. In the second inning, Emmanuel Rivera launching a 2-run homer for KC. That's his 5th of the season, making that 3-0 Royals. Over to the 4th inning, Brady Singer rolling on the mound for Kansas City. Del Castro goes down looking. J.V. Baez, he can also have a seat. Then Willie Castro goes down swinging. Singer strikes out the side in the 4th. And in the next inning, Andrew Benintendi up and out goes the other way for the double. Rivera scores on that to get the KC lead to 4. And the big opportunity for Detroit with the bases loaded. but a nice sliding grab from Whitman Merrifield right there. Royals takes the series from the Tigers as they won that one 7-4. Switching to the National League, the Cards trying to take their series over the Phillies after splitting the first two, but they just got shot out. And you won't win by doing that. 4-0 against the Phillies. St. Louis will be right back on the field for a holiday matchup this evening against the Braves at 6:20. The 19th race of the NASCAR Cup Series season took place yesterday. The series rolled through Wisconsin for the Quick Trip 250 at Road America. And that's Chase Elliott on the pole for this one. After a late dive into the pits for Elliott, Chase Briscoe inherited the lead. Briscoe winning the first stage. That was his second career win, by the by. Lap 30, after the leaders make a late stop, Ryan Blaney takes over the top spot. Blaney taking the second stage. And with 17 laps to go, it gets good here. Elliott back out in front. Tyler Reddick close behind. We have Elliott locking it up in the turn. Reddick takes the lead on the inside. Reddick would go on to win it, his first career win and his 13th different winner of the season.
Just a huge sense of relief. This whole team, we've been at it for a couple years now together. And even some of us back to the Xfinity Series days, you know. A lot of great people have helped an immense amount along the way. And it's just what a crazy ride it's been, and just had to put a lot into it. All of us have, and it's really nice to get it finally done.
And that'll wrap up sports this morning. Still to come, a look at the life of Benjamin Franklin.
A little bit of Americana tucked away in London. I'm Ian Lee with what Benjamin Franklin has to do with this house.
But first, we'll take a look at our forecast to see how hot it will get for the 4th this go-around. Coming up. 17 on this Monday morning, our 4th of July this go-around. It's going to be a hot one. Like it or not, it's because of this upper ridge building back in. It's really cut the brunt of any big-time storms well to the north and west of the region. Plus, it pushed our front, the same one that gave us our rain chances for a good portion of this weekend, back to the north. Before it departed, though, we had a good scattering of thunderstorms. Nothing severe, thankfully, to entertain us, for lack of a better expression, throughout yesterday afternoon and evening. At least it gave us a little bit of beneficial rainfall, 0.4 of an inch of rain on the average. Some certainly heavier pockets in parts of southeast Kansas and north of Joplin and around the Missouri-Kansas state line. But this is our main focus, not just for today, but for much of the week. All these heat advisories, a lot of them taking hold and not letting go until we get into midnight early on your Friday morning. At least we're looking okay at 518 now from 7th and Range Line. We're at 78. South breeze at 11, though, keeping those dew points in the lower 70s. And it's making it feel like 80 degrees. Everybody's sitting in the mid to upper 70s right now, so kind of a warm start to the day. And we'll just go warmer from here on out. Fortunately, this time around, though, we'll just keep things dry. Partly to mostly sunny skies all day. We'll go 93 by noon, pushing near 98 for this afternoon. And as far as your 4th of July, any evening plans, we're looking, it's going to stay dry, but we'll still be in the mid-90s by 6 o'clock, 91 by 8, and eventually we'll start dropping back into the mid-80s by about 10 o'clock tonight. However, the humidity is going to make it feel like it's 105 in general as we go throughout this afternoon. Not much of a break for tomorrow morning, and then those heat indices right back near 105 degrees on the average. And that is why we had those alert days up, because not only will they be high for Tuesday, but we'll flirt with lower triple digits for highs Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Heat indices on those days could push 110, so definitely be mindful of that for any outdoor plans this week. Switching gears, San Diegans and tourists have been enjoying the holiday weekend to the fullest ahead of the holiday. So it's no surprise many have packed California beaches enjoying the beautiful weather. Police, however, say some people might be trying to skirt the rules. And as Ariana Cohen explains, officers are doing their best to enforce the rules while making sure everybody has a fun, safe holiday weekend.
We got here at like 6:45, 7. Not my first rodeo.
We were probably out here at 6:30 this morning.
Whether you're a tourist or not, the message is clear. The earlier, the better.
We wanted to have a prime spot and not have to worry about fighting for anything.
Or you may end up on the grass. Others showed up a couple hours later.
I think I'm getting less attracted to the prime real estate, so I'm okay with coming a little later, not to be as close to the bay as I want.
You'd rather sleep in a little.
Exactly.
While people are having fun in the sun, San Diego police officers are patrolling, reminding beachgoers that no alcohol is allowed on the beach.
Drinking water, obviously, because we can't drink liquor.
San Diego Police Department and the San Diego Lifeguards, if we see you with an open container, we will cite you for that.
Any type of amplified music that can be heard from 10 feet away, police will ask you to turn down. However, some boaters found alternative ways to play loud music, like putting speakers on a boat disguised with plants.
I think that's redneck ingenuity right there. I think that's awesome.
People of Pacific Beach will continue to try to outsmart the police. I remember seeing floating speakers last summer. I heard that you could also drink on your floaty, so people were just having like the waterproof bags with their drinks in it and just drinking on their floaty. So we continue to find clever ways to get around it.
But police are making it clear, saying the same rules that apply on the sand apply in the water.
Same rules apply. You can't have a flotilla and drink from an open container. You can play alcoholic games, just don't bring alcohol to the beach.
He says if you're a passenger drinking on a boat, the boat must be anchored out in the water, not on shore.
Police are just doing their job, and we have to respect them and respect the rules, and it can still be a good time. Happy 4th of July.
So that brings us to our something to talk about this morning. We want to hear from you. What's your favorite holiday? It could certainly be this very day. It could be Thanksgiving, Christmas, Halloween, Memorial Day, or any other holiday we're not thinking of offhand. You can vote on our Insta poll at KOMNewsNow.com/vote. You can vote with the KOM News Now app for iOS and Android, or we can chime in on our Facebook page and hear what you have to say. In the meantime, Jalen will be back with Healthwatch on the other side.
Topping Healthwatch this morning, an estimated 48 million people get sick from foodborne illnesses every year in the U.S. According to the CDC, it can range from mild to severe. So if you're planning to cook out this 4th of July, experts urge you to keep food safe. Mandy Gaither has more on how just to do that.
From fireworks to cookouts, it's time to celebrate the red, white, and blue. But some bad food choices could blow up your fun.
It is something that could be quite serious, and it is fairly preventable.
Meredith Carruthers with the USDA says there are 4 steps to food safety. The first is clean. Make sure your hands, utensils, and plates you bring to the grill aren't contaminated.
The plate that you bring out your raw burgers to the grill on cannot be used to put your cooked burgers on.
Keep those raw meats and poultry away from foods that are ready to eat, and make sure you cook to a safe internal temperature. That varies depending on the meat. A food thermometer can help with that.
Putting it in the thickest part of your food, if you're cooking something like a burger or a sausage, going through the side to make sure you're really getting into the middle.
And chill. Make sure your food stay at a safe temperature and not out too long.
We have what's called a 2-hour rule. So that's the amount of time that you can safely leave your foods out at room temperature or in that temperature range before they start to potentially become unsafe.
If cooking outside in temperatures above 90 degrees, that time reduces to 1 hour before food is either unsafe or needs to go back into the refrigerator. For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
If you're cooking outside, the USDA suggests keeping your food on ice to keep it cold and out of the danger zone. That's a look at just one of today's top health stories. You're watching the KOAM Morning News.
And before we head to yet another commercial break, another look at your forecast. We are dry for the 4th this go around, but it's going to be another hot one, unfortunately, folks. After starting in the mid-70s this morning, we'll push 93 by noon and afternoon highs around 98. We are going to cool things down eventually as we go into the rest of the evening, but for outdoor plans, we're looking fine. It's just going to be a hot start to the evening. We'll still be in the mid-90s by 6 o'clock, 91 by 8 o'clock, and still in the mid-80s by 10 o'clock. But on the plus side, though, pool parties, gatherings, cookouts, barbecues, outdoor plans of any kind, we are in good shape for tonight. But the humidity, let's keep an eye on that because it's going to make it feel like 105 as we go throughout the course of this afternoon. Quick glimpse of the 7-day. We'll do it again tomorrow with highs near 99, pushing lower triple digits. Not breaking records, but flirting with them for Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. More news coming up.
Coming up, a fire breaks out at a Duplex in the Joplin Housing Authority complex. One wheelchair-bound resident had to be rescued.
We're going to be getting the brighten things up from the eastern horizon this morning, but it's going to lead to a hot and humid fourth this go-around. Details coming up.
Also, we'll take you to a family farm that opened its doors to the community for some fun, family, and fireworks.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5:29. I'm Jalen Banks.
And I'm Nick Kelly. We're getting everybody else off to a quiet 4th of July this morning, but boy, it is nice that we're going to keep things quiet this go around, Jalen, but the rising sun is just going to lead to another hot and humid day across the area. At least at 5:30, the eastern horizon looking nice from our camera at 7th and Range Line on the east side of Joplin. And it is nice to see the Skywatch storm tracker quiet after we had to deal with a good scattering, actually, of thunderstorms, certainly yesterday afternoon and into the start of yesterday evening. But since we picked up so much rain, especially over Woodson and Wilson counties, we actually still have aerial flood warnings until 10 o'clock this morning. That's because in some low-lying areas or areas with some poor drainage, we could still have maybe some very minor flooding issues to contend with. But we're not focusing on rain for today. It's about the heat advisories taking everybody until about midnight going into Friday, because the storm system that gave us the rain chances lifted back north. So what does that mean? We are in the mid to upper 70s to start the morning out. And a quick look at our day planner, Jalen. Warms us up fast throughout the day. 83 by 9 a.m., 93 by noon, and pushing highs near 98 with the humidity. It's going to feel like maybe between 100 and 107 as we go throughout the course of the afternoon. I know that you've had to deal with hot and humid weather like this for football practice, so it's probably better that we're all in the AC this morning.
Yeah, absolutely. I know our main focus is the heat, but luckily we did get some rain just in time for the 4th, so it's not a bunch of dry ground and whatnot for the fireworks and things of that nature.
Yeah, that really helped us out, and I'll see if I can muster up any more rain chances when we break down the 7-day again coming up in a bit.
All right, thank you, Nick. 2 men are dead in 2 separate crashes in southwest Missouri. One crash happened Saturday night just after 7:30 on I-49, 2 miles south of Sheldon in Barton County. According to the Missouri State Highway Patrol, 57-year-old Wayne Sprinkle was riding a motorcycle and swerved to avoid something in the road, lost control, and overturned. Sprinkle was pronounced dead at the scene. The other crash also happened on Saturday night just after 9 on Elder Road, about 4.5 miles west of Diamond in Newton County. Officials with the Missouri Highway Patrol say 51-year-old Brian Bradley of Diamond was riding an ATV when it traveled off the roadway. Authorities say Bradley overcorrected, and that resulted in the ATV overturning. Bradley was also pronounced dead at the scene. The Grand River Dam Authority Police Department says they recovered a body from the Dripping Springs area of Grand Lake. Officials say they received a call regarding a cliff jumper that did not resurface from the lake around 6:30 Saturday evening. The GRDA says water rescue units arrived on the scene and recovered the body about 30 minutes after the incident. The investigation is ongoing and no other details were released. A church bus is rear-ended on Missouri 96 just west of Oronogo. The crash happened Sunday morning just before 9:45. Officials say there were 6 people on the bus, which was from Crossroads Baptist Church in Carthage. The accident happened on Highway 96 near County Road 230, about a mile west of Oronogo. There were no injuries reported at the scene. A fire breaks out at a duplex on Joplin's east side. On Saturday, officials say just before midnight, a passerby saw flames at a duplex in the Joplin Housing Authority complex at 409 South Ozark. When officials arrived, they found heavy smoke and flames showing. No one was home at one of the duplexes. However, emergency responders rescued a wheelchair-bound resident from the other duplex. The fire marshal has been called to investigate the cause of the fire. However, officials say it appears the fire started in the shared attic space above and spread between the 2 units. The Parsons Historical Society has added another piece to tell the story of the city. On Saturday, they held a ribbon cutting celebrating the grand opening of the Farm Heritage Museum. The museum has farm equipment dating back to as far as the 1800s. Over 100 people were in attendance.
Well, anytime you see a turnout like this, you can tell that that the people loved what you've done. And I mean, if nobody would have showed up, you knew that we screwed up. But as it is, the turnout here, I would say there's probably well over 100 people here.
The Farm Heritage Museum is now the third museum of the Parson Historical Society. The Country Road Family Fun Farm is celebrating their holiday weekend by bringing people to the farm for food, fun, and fireworks. The Family Fun Farm is closed for the summer, but opened up its gates because they felt it was important to celebrate with the community.
Well, we are a very patriotic family. We love 4th of July. We're the type that's always blowing stuff up anyway. We would set off all kinds of fireworks whether we had a fun farm or not, but we figured since we have the fun farm and we love to blow things up, why not invite people to join us?
The Country Roads Family Fun Farm is located at 15144 Highway 97, Stott City, Missouri. Now here's Nick with a look at our forecast.
And once again, Jalen, we are looking at a quiet 4th this go around, but it wouldn't be a 4th of July if it wasn't hot and humid, that's for sure. Highs are 93, make that temperatures near 93 at noon. Then I wish we had highs near 93, but we're going to top out actually at 98 this afternoon. Heat indices well into the triple digits, maybe as high as 106 to 107 a few spots. We'll only drop back into the upper 70s by tomorrow morning. But at least we're dry for any outdoor plans this evening. But look at the next several days. 99 Tuesday, lower triple digits Wednesday through Friday. Those alert days are up, by the way, not just because of the heat, but the humidity that can make it feel like 110 in some spots, certainly by Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So to get our mind off the heat, Jalen, what's our something to talk about this morning?
This morning we are discussing the celebrating a holiday. The 4th of July is here, and many Americans chose to pick up the cars and airplanes and head to lakes and beaches to celebrate in numbers some experts have said are record-breaking. If going into this holiday has shown us anything, it's the value of get to where you're going early and avoid the crowds, whether that means traveling down the highway or picking your spot at the beach. And of course, if your celebration takes place in a public place, make sure and extend some courtesy to your fellow travelers who probably did as much traveling as you to get to their favorite spot for the holiday. And to everyone from right here at KOA and Fox 14, have a happy and safe 4th of July.
Yes, well, that's just something to talk about this morning. What's your favorite holiday? We got a whole bevy of them, Jalen, from Independence Day to Christmas, Halloween, Thanksgiving, Memorial Day, and probably others I'm not thinking of. For me, it has to be Christmas. I mean, it's a toss-up between Christmas and Thanksgiving, but I like Christmas because I always like going to midnight mass and hearing the choir sing before the service gets underway.
It's tough. You've got Halloween, Thanksgiving, and Christmas back to back to back. It's just a very, nostalgic time of the year. If I were to choose, I'm just going to go right in the middle with Thanksgiving.
That's not a bad holiday.
Big fan of food, so.
That's the holiday for food, that's for sure. Well, we want to hear from you. What's your favorite holiday? We've got a bevy of options on our Insta poll, which you can vote on at KONewsNow.com. You can also vote with the KO News Now app through iOS and Android. And as we have it posted on our Facebook page, we certainly want to hear what you have to say, so feel free to chime in anytime. Jalen?
All right, that's a look at our top stories coming up this half hour on the KOA Morning News. We'll take a look at one tech company who says AI can be a valuable tool against mass shootings, but some experts warn about a potential invasion of privacy. Plus, Nick has another look at your 4th of July forecast. You're watching the KOAM Morning News, more real news in the morning. We'll be right back. Topping World Watch this morning, even though Benjamin Franklin devoted his life to America, he spent a large part of it in London. Ian Lee tracks down where he stayed.
Nestled among London's more modern buildings is a bit of American history. On Craven Street stands the home of Benjamin Franklin.
Franklin was here as the agent initially for Pennsylvania.
Marcia Beliciano is the director of Benjamin Franklin House.
He was very much the most famous colonial of his day, so the right person to come and negotiate.
The founding father spent a good part of 16 years on these foundations.
Anyone who was anyone came to this house to pay their respects and talk with Franklin.
Much of the original building that Franklin would have known back in the 1700s remains, from the floorboards and walls to the oak staircase. Ben Franklin exercised by walking up these exact stairs, and he famously said that walking a mile up and down stairs is equivalent to walking 10 miles on flat ground.
It wasn't how long he did it for, it was that it elevated his pulse. Here at Benjamin Franklin House, we like to say that Franklin should be credited with the Stairmaster.
And brought it to earth.
Today, the house is a museum. Laura Rockland is visiting from Boston.
Today it was lovely to hear from the point of view of Polly, his landlady's daughter, what a sort of lovely father figure he was.
The Pennsylvania proprietors.
Grace Gallagher reenacts the landlady's daughter, Polly Baker.
He's quite complex, and as much as there's so much known, there's a lot of mystery and a lot of unknown.
One thing that is known, Franklin liked to take air baths every morning for an hour.
Bathing with no clothes on, with the window open, this window in itself.
A bit scandalous.
A bit scandalous indeed, yeah. I mean, we can definitely see into the houses opposite, so no doubt they could see in here.
And a window into the man that many call the first American. Ian Lee, CBS News, London.
Although Benjamin Franklin was never president, he was the only founding father to sign all 4 of the key documents establishing the United States, including the Declaration of Independence, Treaty of Alliance with France, the Treaty of Paris, which ended the Revolutionary War, and the Constitution. That's a look at just one of your biggest headlines from around the world. We'll be right back with the news you need to know before you head out the door. Here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. On Saturday, officials say just before midnight, a passerby saw flames at a duplex in the Joplin Housing Authority complex at 409 South Ozark. When fire officials arrived, they found heavy smoke and flames showing. No one was home at one of the duplexes. However, emergency responders rescued a wheelchair-bound resident from the other duplex. The fire marshal has been called in to investigate the cause of the fire. However, officials say it appears the fire started in the shared attic space above and spread between the 2 units. 2 men are dead in 2 separate crashes in southwest Missouri. One crash happened Saturday night just after 7:30 on I-49, 2 miles south of Sheldon in Barton County. According to the Missouri State Highway Patrol, 57-year-old Wayne Sprinkle was riding a motorcycle and swerved to avoid something in the roadway, lost control, and overturned. Sprinkle was pronounced dead at the scene. The other crash also happened on Saturday night, just after 9 on Elder Road, about 4.5 miles west of Diamond in Newton County. Officials with the Missouri Highway Patrol say 50-year-old Brian Bradley of Diamond was riding an ATV when it traveled off the roadway. Authorities say Bradley overcorrected, and that resulted in the ATV overturning. Bradley was also pronounced dead at the scene. And the Grand River Dam Authority Police Department says they recovered a body from the Dripping Springs area of Grand Lake. Officials say they received a call regarding a cliff jumper that did not resurface from the lake around 6:30 Saturday evening. The GRDA says water rescue units arrived on the scene and recovered the body about 30 minutes after the incident. The investigation is ongoing and no other details were released. That's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door.
And as far as your forecast, everybody, after dealing with that bevy of rain and thunderstorms the other day, we're dry for the official holiday this go around. But if you love the pure summer heat and humidity, there's your numbers for you. We'll quickly push 83 degrees by about 9 o'clock, pushing 93 by noon and topping out around 98. Now that's just your actual air temperature, but with the humidity and including some rain that's still on the ground from the other day, it's going to make it feel like 101 to about 107 degrees at the warmest point during the afternoon. At least we're dry and looking great for any outdoor plans and all the fireworks displays tonight, but we're still in the lower 90s by 8 o'clock, 84 by midnight. We'll drop back to 78 degrees first thing Tuesday morning, and you see all those alert days, easy to see why. 99 on Tuesday, lower triple digits, 100 Wednesday, 102 Thursday, and 101 on Friday. Those will either be close to record highs or tying them as we go through that portion of the coming week. But the alert days are also up because of the humidity. Certainly on the days where we have triple-digit highs, it could make some spots feel as hot as 110 degrees. So something to keep in mind if you have any outdoor plans whatsoever throughout the course of the week. We'll be right back.
There's a new tool some tech companies say can help fight mass shootings. Artificial intelligence, but surveillance, some people say, Campbell has details.
Gunman approaches a high school, casing the exterior and eventually making his way inside. But before he even gets to the door,
last known location is OHS main office.
Law enforcement's en route.
600 miles away, a team of security experts is already aware of the situation. Identifying the weapon and possible shooter using artificial intelligence technology, they're alerting authorities.
Rob, what did we just see? So you just saw a demo of Zero Eyes in action. What we do is I started out in the parking lot. I walked around with airsoft guns, not real guns, but they have the same shape. And we process the video cameras frame by frame, and we ask one question: is there a gun in this image?
This is only a simulation, but illustrates how artificial intelligence is being used in response to a wave of mass shootings. Rob Huberty is Chief Operating Officer of Zero Eyes, one of several emerging AI gun detection companies. He and a group of fellow former Navy SEALs are hoping to reduce the amount of time it takes law enforcement to stop a threat.
We found it pretty upsetting that you could look back at some of these terrible scenarios and see impending doom and not be able to do anything. We want you to know before any shots are fired.
And with the added human element to their AI technology, they say they are able to provide detailed context to those responding on the ground.
We have the human in the loop who's able to verify and send a verbal verification to that, first responder, that main security point of contact.
This simulation is taking place at Oxford High School in Michigan, one of several places piloting new gun detection technology.
But of course, for the students and staff here at Oxford High, planning for a mass shooting isn't an academic exercise. Late last year, in the middle of a school day, this building became a crime scene.
We are following horrible breaking news out of Michigan, yet another school shooting.
The gunfire erupted this afternoon at a school just north of Detroit.
The suspect fired multiple shots. There's multiple victims.
Less than a year ago, a gunman shot and killed 4 fellow students and wounded others. The tragedy prompted additional security measures, including piloting Zero Eyes technology on some existing cameras throughout the campus.
We knew someone bad was in the building, and we didn't exactly know where they were to find them on the cameras. This particular type of technology would pinpoint their location, geolocate them, and give that information again, not only to us, but also to first responders to find that individual quickly.
While early detection technology might save police precious time in responding to a threat, there are still limitations. The Zero Eye system is designed to only detect a weapon that is brandished. And the cost of new technology might prove challenging for those school districts already facing budget constraints. Civil liberties advocates also warn
it could incentivize us to blanket our children's schools with surveillance cameras, which is not good for children. There are questions around effectiveness. Will this really stop a shooter, especially if it doesn't alert on a gun? So there are practical questions and there are bigger questions about what this kind of technology will mean and where it will fit in our society.
Zero Eyes says its platform, currently used by clients in over 20 states, was built with privacy concerns in mind.
These cameras already exist. We're not putting any other cameras in. They're not watching real-time cameras. They're just seeing keyframe images. There's a box on the ground and they say gun or no gun. If they verify that it is in fact a gun, they dispatch it.
The hope? Alert authorities to a gun before it results in the next all-too-familiar mass shooting.
I want to make the world a little bit better of a place, and this is a very simple tool that's just a step in the right direction.
Security experts say there is no single way to stop the wave of mass shootings we are seeing. We'll be right back with another look at your forecast right after this.
We're back, and we're going to take another look at our forecast before we hit the top of the hour. We're really starting to brighten things up as the sun continues to, well, actually getting close to rising. It'll do so within the next few minutes officially, but you can tell that it's keeping temperatures rather warm this morning. 77 degrees at Joplin Regional. Feels like 78, though, with the dew point already in the lower 70s, so it already gives you the good indication it's going to be humid for this 4th of July, but at least everyone is starting out with okay temperatures, mid to even some upper 70s out there. Even though it's going to be hot and it's going to be humid, we wrapped up our rain chances for the holiday weekend the other day with that frontal system well to the north of us now. We're going to go from temperatures in the mid to upper 70s right now to 93 by noon and pushing highs near 98 with generally a light south and sometimes southwesterly breeze, staying relatively light at about 5 to 15. As for your outdoor plans this evening, be it fireworks, cookouts, pool parties, you name it, we're all looking dry, so that should not be an issue, but definitely keep in mind that it's going to be hot to start the evening out. We'll still be in the mid-90s by 6 o'clock, 91 by 8 p.m., and even though we'll be past sunset by 10 o'clock, it's going to be still warm with temperatures around 86 degrees. Now, those are just air temperatures. The humidity, not just more coming in, but from the rain that we saw the other day, it's going to make it feel like 101 to about 107 by the time we reach peak heating this afternoon. Not much of a break temperature-wise as we drop back into the upper 70s as we go into tomorrow morning, and we'll go right back between 100 and 106 for your feels-like temperatures for tomorrow. That is primarily because of this upper-level ridge really building in. Anytime we get a setup like this, it's going to be very hot and humid, certainly as we go through Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday of this week. In fact, this setup is going to push not only high temperatures in the lower triple digits, but the humidity is going to make it feel like 110 in some spots. So this is some of the hottest air we've seen so far this summer, and with the high humidity as well. That is why we have alert days out for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, because highs pushing near 100, if not lower triple digits, and morning lows only in the upper 70s and lower 80s, and hopefully we'll get a few storms in here by Saturday. Another hour of news coming up.
Coming up, a Saturday night motorcycle crash in Barton County leads to the death of one man.
Plus, we are really brightening things up now, but it's going to lead to a hot and humid 4th of July. We'll break down the numbers coming up.
Also, the Combat Vets Motorcycle Association rolls through the 4 states to place their bets in some local veteran groups.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 6 a.m. I'm Jalen Banks.
And I'm Nick Kelly, taking care of things weather-wise this morning, and it's a good thing we're starting out dry, Jalen, because we were busy tracking all sorts of rain and storms that really flared up the other day. Fortunately, any rain chances we had this holiday weekend, it's long gone now, so we're looking nice. Filtered sunshine as the sun continues to rise from the eastern horizon from 7th and Range Line. And even though it looks nice, we are still trying to dry out from some areas picking up so much rain from the other day. In fact, Woodson, Wilson counties, you still have aerial flood warnings up until about 10 o'clock this morning, because there should still be some low-lying areas or some poor drainage areas that might be encountering still just a little extra water. But this is our main focus, though. All these heat advisories taking a lot of us, not just through today, but up until midnight going into your Friday morning. That's because the front that gave us the rain and storms is well to the north of us now, and this means temperatures starting out in the mid to upper 70s this morning. And we are not done by a long shot warming things up. 93 by noon, we'll push highs to 98 for today, Jalen, with the humidity making it feel like the triple digits, anywhere from 101 to 107. And I'm afraid the numbers will continue to climb from there. We'll break down the extended forecast for everybody here in a few.
Oh my, make sure to wear your sunscreen, stay hydrated.
Yeah, just keep cool however you can.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Nick. 2 men are dead in 2 separate crashes in southwest Missouri. One crash happened Saturday night just after 7:30 on I-49, 2 miles south of Sheldon in Barton County. According to the Missouri State Highway Patrol, 57-year-old Wayne Sprinkle was riding a motorcycle and swerved to avoid something on the roadway, lost control, and overturned. Sprinkle was pronounced dead at the scene. The other crash also happened on Saturday night just after 9 on Elder Road, about 4.5 miles west of Diamond in Newton County. Officials with the Missouri Highway Patrol say 51-year-old Brian Bradley of Diamond was riding an ATV when it traveled off the roadway. Authorities say Bradley overcorrected, and that resulted in the ATV overturning. Bradley was pronounced dead at the scene. The Grand River Dam Authority Police Department says they recovered a body from the Dripping Springs area of Grand Lake. Officials say they received a call regarding a cliff jumper that did not resurface from the lake around 6:30 yesterday evening. The GRDA says water rescue units arrived on the scene and recovered the body about 30 minutes after the incident. The investigation is ongoing and no other details were released. A church bus is rear-ended on Missouri 96 just west of Oronogo. The crash happened Sunday morning just before 9:45. Officials say there were 6 people on the bus, which was from Crossroads Baptist Church in Carthage. The incident happened on Highway 96 near County Road 230, about a mile west of Oronogo. There were no injuries reported at the scene. A fire breaks out at a duplex on Joplin's east side. On Saturday, officials say just before midnight, a passerby saw flames at a duplex in the Joplin Housing Authority complex at 409 South Ozark. When fire officials arrived, they found heavy smoke and flames showing. No one was home at one of the duplexes. However, emergency responders rescued a wheelchair-bound resident from the other duplex. The fire marshal has been called in to investigate the cause of the fire. However, officials say it appears the fire started in the shared attic space above and spread between the two units. The Set Ranch Prosperity Group and the Royal Slab Car Club are partnered together to put on an inaugural car show in celebration of the 4th of July. The goal is to give people groups of all backgrounds an opportunity to express themselves and celebrate the 4th through their cars.
One of our main mission is to level the playing field for the socially and economically disadvantaged, and that includes a lot of people that are from other races, other cultures, and so we wanted to make sure we include everyone. And cars are an expression of people's culture and people's taste and their characteristics, and so they speak a lot about a person.
For more on this story, just go to our website at koamnewsnow.com. The Combat Vets Motorcycle Association is hosting their annual poker run. The goal is to raise money for local veterans and VFWs. The poker run will consist of 5 stops from Goodman, Knoll, Seneca, Joplin, and ending in Carterville.
These individuals knowing that we're doing this to help veterans out, whether it is someone needing a warm meal or help with putting shingles on the roof or helping get moved, we've done that.
For more on this story, just go to our website at koamnewsnow.com. On this date in 1884, France gives the completed Statue of Liberty to the United States in commemoration of the two countries' friendship. The idea for the statue was born in 1865 when the French historian and abolitionist Edward de Louboulet proposed a monument to commemorate the upcoming centennial of the U.S. independence in 1876, the perseverance of American democracy and the liberation of the nation's slaves. Constructed of hammered copper sheets formed over a steel framework perfected by engineer Gustave Eiffel, who joined the project in 1879. The completed Statue of Liberty stood just over 150 feet high and weighed 225 tons when it was completed in 1884. 6 years later, the inspection station on neighboring Ellis Island opened, welcoming more than 12 million immigrants to the United States between 1892 and 1954.
That's remarkable, and I bet it requires a lot of upkeep for that sculpture to last as long as it has.
Yeah, just another country going out of the way to build something like that for us.
Yeah, have you ever visited the Statue of Liberty?
I've seen it, but I haven't, took the tour or anything like that.
Yeah, that's one of my things on my bucket list. Is I've never ventured into the northeastern parts of the country, but I would love to go to the Northeast. Certainly, I wouldn't mind stopping by there. I don't know if we're ever allowed to go back up there. I don't know if that's changed over the past few decades or so, but just to get a look at it from my own eyes, that would certainly be nice.
Absolutely. Yeah.
All right, we're going to refocus on our area here, Jalen, because fast forwarding to this point in time, it's going to be dry this 4th of July, but it is going to be, goodness, a hot and humid 4th this go around. 93 degrees at noon, topping out at 98 degrees for today. Fortunately, we are going to keep things dry for tonight. Certainly good for any sort of outdoor plan and certainly the fireworks displays this evening. But we'll still be at 91 by 8 o'clock, 84 by midnight, pushing morning lows. This is leaving me speechless because I don't like these numbers showing up here. Tuesday morning in the upper 70s. We'll push 99 Tuesday, then lower triple digits Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Jalen, these may not break records, but those are going to be either close or we're going to tie some of those. And those alert days are up because of the humidity. Certainly with those days with triple digits, it could feel as hot as 110. So something to keep in the back of your mind if you have any outdoor plans at all. Just be sure you have ways to stay cool for the week to come.
All right, thank you, Nick. That's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News, what's behind the bang?
You ever wonder how they create the dazzling sights and sounds of a 4th of July fireworks show? I'm Michael George with the science behind the spectacle.
Plus, 8 police officers in Akron, Ohio are on paid leave after a deadly incident leaving a 25-year-old black man shot to death. We have the latest. And many families are diving back into pools this summer, but the American Academy of Pediatrics warns that many children did not receive swimming lessons during the pandemic. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. More real news in the morning. We'll be right back. Topping Nation Watch this morning, authorities in Akron, Ohio say Jalen Walker, a 25-year-old black man, was unarmed when police chased him on foot and killed him in a hail of bullets. 8 officers are now on paid leave after an attempted traffic stop and pursuit turned deadly. Police over the weekend released video capturing the events before Walker's fatal shooting. And we want to warn you, the images are disturbing. Ian Lee is following the latest on developments.
Akron, Ohio police released unsettling video showing the final moments of 25-year-old Jalen Walker's life.
A lot of rounds were fired. ME's report indicates over 60 wounds to Mr. Walker's body.
Officials say the deadly June 27 police shooting began with an attempted traffic stop just after midnight when Walker apparently sped off when they tried to pull him over. During the chase, investigators say Walker fired from the window of his car, a claim his family disputes.
21 shots fired. That vehicle just had a shot come out of its door.
Video shows Walker exiting the car on foot wearing a ski mask. Authorities say officers tried to use tasers to stop him, but then opened fire when he turned around to face them.
If you can do anything for the family, please give peace, give dignity, and give justice a chance for Jalen.
No justice, no peace!
Walker's family and city leaders are urging protesters to remain peaceful.
If any of you out there don't like what's happening and love Jalen, then we gonna do it right? Right.
Overnight, police fired tear gas as protesters marched through the streets. Social media video shows a dumpster on fire. During the foot chase, Walker never fired a shot, but officers say they found a gun and loaded magazine in his car. According to Akron Police Chief Steve Milet, an officer was heard on body camera video saying Walker still had a pulse. Medics tried to save him, but Walker died at the scene. Ian Lee, CBS News.
When the state's investigation is complete, the case will be handed over to the Ohio Attorney General's office for further review before presented to a grand jury for evaluation. The city of Akron, meanwhile, canceled its 4th of July celebration as the city continues to mourn. That's a look at just one of today's top national stories. We'll be right back.
Tonight, an estimated 16,000 fireworks shows will be held across the country. But how did the pyrotechnicians create all those beautiful shapes and colors in the sky? Michael George shows us the science behind the spectacle.
It's a dazzling display in the sky, a symphony of sights and sounds. But the magic behind fireworks is actually just science.
We're seeing chemistry in action.
Paul Smith is president of the Pyrotechnics Guild International.
The basic composition of a firework material, it has to have an oxidizer and a fuel.
Do different colors require different chemicals?
Exactly. And there's a couple of key elements that we use, or several key elements that we use there. Strontium is the predominant one used for red. Barium is often the key component in green color situations. Copper is for blue.
Each firework shell has to be precisely packed and timed to the second to synchronize with the music. And even the grandest of fireworks displays, the Macy's Spectacular, uses many of the same techniques as local public displays. This production involves 48,000 shells, creating 17 unique patterns in the sky.
And this particular one will get thrown out in the shape of a happy face.
Macy's fireworks designer Gary Souza showed us how the small frame in his hand can create massive shapes in the sky.
Making shapes with fireworks is become more and more of an art, in the sense that you have to strategically place the shells with the stars within the shell.
An awe-inspiring American tradition powered by science. Michael George, CBS News, New York.
Now, to say the best way to watch fireworks is usually not up close in terms of seating. You want to give yourself a little distance so you can take in the entire display. Thankfully, though, Mother Nature is not going to give us any sort of her own fireworks this go around. That's because the front that gave us our rain and storm chances throughout much of the weekend, especially yesterday, is well to the northeast of us now. That means any big storms are staying along the front well to the north. So it's nice that we're drying out after we saw our share of rain and storms yesterday afternoon and evening, which, by the way, left behind on the average 0.4 of an inch of rain. Certainly you can see heavier pockets though in parts of southeast Kansas and near the Kansas-Missouri line. But this is our main focus. So all these heat advisories taking effect starting this afternoon, and some not falling by the wayside until we hit midnight as we go into your Friday. So it's going to be hot and humid for your 4th, certainly today. At least we're looking nice with the sun continuing to rise from 7th and range line. We are at 77 right now, a south wind of 13, keeping that dew point at 73. So that is making it feel like 78 degrees. And it's the same case for much of the area, mid to upper 70s for the most part. And we're just going to continue to see that thermometer rise throughout the course of the day, but we'll keep quiet under partly to mostly sunny skies. I'm thinking 93 by noon, pushing highs near 98. And for any outdoor plans and certainly all the firework displays this evening, we're going to be dry throughout. It's going to be hot by 6 o'clock with temperatures around 96, 91 by 8 o'clock, and we'll still be in the mid-80s by 10 o'clock tonight. But another thing I want to point out, the feels like temperatures because of the humidity. We'll take those temperatures in the upper 90s for today. Makes it feel like 101 to 107 this afternoon. And then we'll just do it all over again for your Tuesday with heat indices back on average around 105 degrees. A very quick look at your 7-day forecast, though, pushes us near 99 on Tuesday and then lower triple digits for Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And those alert days are up because the humidity will certainly make it feel like 110 in some spots, certainly on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. We're back after the break.
Topping Healthwatch this morning, as many families are getting ready to enjoy their summer, the American Academy of Pediatrics is recommending swim lessons for children to prevent drowning. The group says that many children did not learn this life skill during the pandemic. Naomi Ruckham has more.
6-year-old Xander Rogoff is learning to swim. His mother Dana says the pandemic kept him from learning earlier.
He missed out on those 2 years of really getting into the pool and getting those socialized lessons at camp that he would have had.
With swim classes canceled at pools and parks, many children around the country did not get proper instruction.
Arms in front, face down.
That's why the American Academy of Pediatrics is encouraging families to sign up for swimming and water safety classes. Drowning is the single leading cause of injury death for children ages 1 to 4.
There's really strong evidence that swimming lessons in kids over the age of 1 is one layer of protection against drowning prevention.
It's a very important life skill. Almost there, keep going.
Scuba Steve Camlett is Xander's instructor. He recommends parents look for an American Red Cross water safety instructor.
First skill they should learn is the proper way to enter the water to make sure it's safe. After that, proper floating so that if something were to happen, they can stay on top of the water. We're going to work on some mechanics with a stroke called the front crawl.
The AAP cautions other layers of protection are also necessary to prevent drowning, including pool fencing, close supervision, life jackets on boats and lakes, and CPR training.
Anything could happen, and that's a parent's biggest nightmare. So having him know how to swim properly is extremely important for us.
And Xander is improving with every stroke.
Excellent.
Naomi Ruckham, CBS News, Merrick, New York.
And children aren't the only ones who need to know how to swim. The AAP says it's never too late for even parents to learn. New research on the monkeypox outbreak in the UK shows patient symptoms are different than previous outbreaks. The Lancet Infectious Diseases study found patients had differences in symptoms, including location of skin lesions and less tiredness and fever. In this current outbreak, more than 350 monkeypox cases have been reported in the U.S. A new study suggests benefits for patients of long-term care facilities who received a first booster dose of the COVID vaccine. Tel Aviv University researchers studied more than 18,000 people when the Delta variant was surging. The risk of severe disease, hospitalization, and death was no longer among patients who received the third dose of the Pfizer vaccine compared to patients who received 2 doses 5 months or more before. And we know the stress of the pandemic has impacted the mental health of healthcare workers. In a new study, Seattle researchers offered a coaching program to workers and employees designed to reduce stress and build resilience. Participants reported resilience, stress, anxiety, and burnout improved. That's a look at some of today's top health stories. You're watching the KOAM Morning News.
And another look at our forecast before we head to commercial break. We'll start it out with the big weather headline for much of this week. Heat advisories taking effect starting today at noon. For some, lasting until we hit midnight going into Friday. So with that in mind, it's going to be dry for the 4th this go around, but it's going to be hot and humid. 93 degrees by noon, pushing highs near 98 degrees for the afternoon. Now, in terms of how we look for tonight, thanks to all the rain, this is going to be a lot safer for fireworks displays, but it's still going to be hot to start the evening out before we drop back near 86 by 10 o'clock. But those heat advisories are out for a reason, because it's going to feel like 101 to 107 degrees for this afternoon across the area. And we'll just do it all over again for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Pushing near 100 Tuesday, lower triple digits Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And as the thermometer really increases, it could feel like 110 with the humidity on some days. More news coming up.
Coming up, a Saturday night motorcycle crash in Barton County leads to the death of one man.
The rising sun showing a quiet 4th of July, but it's going to feel like 4th of July for sure. We'll break down the numbers coming up.
Also, the Combat Vets Motorcycle Association rolls through the 4 states to place their bets on some local veteran groups.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 6:29. I'm Jalen Banks.
And I'm meteorologist Nick Kelly, taking care of things once again. And I'll tell you what, Jalen, I'll take today's quiet weather over the rain and storms that we saw plenty of the other day. In fact, we're looking good from 7th and Range Live, with the sun continuing to rise from the eastern horizon, showing some filtered sunshine, some high-level clouds, but it is looking a lot better than this start of the Skywatch Storm Tracker loop. We were seeing the tail end of the rain and thunderstorms yesterday evening finally dissipate before we hit the stroke of midnight, but it's still kind of wet in a couple spots, especially out in parts of Woodson and Wilson counties. Some of them have to deal with flood warnings until 10 a.m. But the overall theme for today is a dry day, but the heat and humidity kicking in. We've got heat advisories taking effect from noon today, and some lasting until we get to midnight on Friday morning. That's because our front, they gave us the rain chances well to the north and east of us now. So that means temperatures going from the mid-70s to start the morning out. We are going to see the thermometers rise to 93 by noon and pushing highs today, Jalen, near 98. It's going to be a dry 4th, partly to mostly sunny skies, but the humidity, it's going to make it feel like a triple digits for today. And I think triple digits is where actual temperatures will go fairly soon. We'll break down when we'll look at this. My goodness, but look at the 7-day. It's just leaving me speechless because I don't like the numbers that I have in the 7-day, but we got to show it to everybody. We'll do that in a few.
All right, sounds good. Thank you, Nick. 2 men are dead in 2 separate car crashes in Southwest Missouri. One crash happened Saturday night just after 7:30 on I-49, 2 miles south of Sheldon in Barton County. According to the Missouri State Highway Patrol, 57-year-old Wayne Sprinkle was riding a motorcycle and swerved to avoid something in the roadway, lost control, and overturned. Sprinkle was pronounced dead at the scene. The other crash also happened on Saturday night, just after 9 on Elder Road, about 4.5 miles west of Diamond in Newton County. Officials with the Missouri Highway Patrol say 51-year-old Brian Bradley of Diamond was riding an ATV when it traveled off the roadway. Authorities say Bradley overcorrected, and that resulted in the ATV overturning. Bradley was also pronounced dead at the scene. The Grand River Dam Authority Police Department says they recovered a body from the Dripping Springs area of Grand Lake. Officials say they received a call regarding a cliff jumper that did not resurface from the lake around 6:30 yesterday evening. The GRDA says water rescue units arrived on the scene and recovered the body about 30 minutes after the incident. The investigation is ongoing and no other details were released. A church bus is rear-ended on Missouri 96 just west of Oronogo. The crash happened Sunday morning just before 9:45. Officials say there were 6 people on the bus, which was from the Crossroads Baptist Church in Carthage. The accident happened on Highway 96 near County Road 230, about a mile west of Oronogo. There were no injuries reported at the scene. a fire breaks out at a duplex on Joplin's east side. On Saturday, officials say just before midnight, a passerby saw flames at a duplex in the Joplin Housing Authority complex at 409 South Ozark. When fire officials arrived, they found heavy smoke and flames showing. No one was home at one of the duplexes. However, emergency responders rescued a wheelchair-bound resident from the other duplex. The fire marshal has been called to investigate the cause of the fire. However, officials say it appears the fire started in the shared attic space above and spread between the two units. The Set Ranch Prosperity Group and the Royal Slab Car Club are partnered together to put on an inaugural car show in celebration of the 4th of July. The goal is to give people groups of all backgrounds an opportunity to express themselves and celebrate the 4th through their cars.
One of our main mission is to level the playing field for the socially and economically disadvantaged, and that includes a lot of people that are from other races, other cultures, and so we wanted to make sure we include everyone. And cars are an expression of people's culture and people's taste and their characteristics, and so they speak a lot about a person.
For more on this story, just go to our website at koamnewsnow.com. The Combat Vets Motorcycle Association is hosting their annual poker run. The goal is to raise money for local veterans and VFWs. The poker run will consist of 5 stops from Goodman, Knoll, Seneca, Joplin, and ending in Carterville.
These individuals knowing that we're doing this to help veterans out, whether it is someone needing a warm meal or help with putting shingles on the roof or helping get moved, we've done that.
For more on this story, just go on our website at koamnewsnow.com. On this date in 1826, former Presidents Thomas Jefferson and John Adams, who were once fellow patriots and then adversaries, die on the same day within 5 hours of each other. Despite having a close friendship spiral into bitterness, Jefferson and Adams each expressed to third parties their respect for the other and their desire to renew their friendship. Adams was the first to break the silence. He sent Jefferson a letter dated January 1st, 1812, in which he wished Jefferson many happy New Years to come. Jefferson responded with a note in which he fondly recalled when they were fellow laborers in the same cause. The former revolutionaries went on to resume their friendship over 14 years of correspondence during their golden years. On July 4th, 1826, at the age of 90, Adams lay on his deathbed while the country celebrated Independence Day. His last words were, "Thomas Jefferson still survives." He made a mistake though. Jefferson died 5 hours earlier at Monticello at the age of 83.
Oh, it's amazing, but a lot of history about our founding fathers this morning.
Absolutely. I mean, that story in particular doesn't get any more storybook if you ask me though.
Yeah, I just wish we had a fairy tale ending for a lot, if you could pardon the transition there to our temperatures today. But if it's the 4th of July, it might as well feel like July. So we're going to push temperatures near 93 by the noon hour today, topping out at 98. But the 7-day forecast still has the thermometer trending upward. 99 for your high on Tuesday, lower triple digits Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. The alert days are up for good reason, not just because of the hot temperatures, but the humidity. Certainly by Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Jalen, the humidity could make those numbers feel as hot as 110 in some areas. So something definitely we're going to watch throughout the course of the week.
Oh my, yeah. Again, stay hydrated, sunscreen, stay cool.
However you can.
Yeah. Thank you, Nick.
All right.
Let's look at our top stories. Coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News, if you've got $500,000 lying around, you could own this missile silo that's been converted into a house. Some would say that deal is the bomb. Plus, millions of Americans will hit the beaches and barbecue grills today in celebration of the holiday. But we want to know, is this your favorite holiday? We'll let you weigh in and we'll be right back. Consumer Watch this morning, a property up for sale in Nebraska is up for sale in Nebraska, and it's not just a home. It's a piece of American history. The underground home was originally a nuclear missile silo during the Cold War. Taylor Leverett takes a tour.
These are the launch doors. Each one of these weighs 75 tons. Standing on the ground, you may never know what's beneath, but take a peek inside these metal doors.
As you start going down the stairs, you can feel the drop in temperature.
At one point in time, not just any person would be allowed down under.
Second security door would have been here, and you had to pass a one-time code.
And once you were cleared,
to the top level of the command center. And this is actually where a crew of 5 would live 24 hours a day. And this is
the 2,500 square foot underground home used to be a missile site.
At the time that they were in operation, they were, one of the sharpest arrows in the military's quiver.
Serving as a national defense in the event of an emergency.
These sites were built, with nuclear weapons. The whole idea was to never use them because contemplating their use is just kind of nightmarish. But they were here to hopefully prevent a war.
And according to historians, York isn't the only spot where these decommissioned Atlas F missile silos can be found.
They ultimately put 15 bases in Nebraska, so one out in the Panhandle, but with the exception of that one base that was associated with a military base in Wyoming, the York missile base was the farthest west, so all of them were in eastern Nebraska.
By April 1965, all these sites are closed down, and very shortly thereafter being sold off to private individuals.
Just like history, you have to dive deep to get a better picture. Or in this case, walk down a few flights of stairs to get to the best part.
have been where the actual launch command center.
The underground home could be yours for the list price of $550,000. That's it for Consumer Watch. Let's go over to Nick for our Something to Talk About.
This morning is about celebrating the holiday, Jalen, but maybe not the 4th. But it is the 4th this time around. Many Americans choosing to pack up the cars and airplanes, head to the lakes and beaches to celebrate in numbers some experts have said are record-breaking. If going into this holiday shown us anything, it's the value of getting to where you're going early and avoiding the crowds, whether that means traveling down the highway or picking your spot at the beach. And of course, if your celebration takes place in a public place, make sure to extend some fellow courtesy to your fellow revelers who probably did as much traveling as you to get to their favorite holiday spot. And of course, it goes without saying, we want everyone here at KOAM and Fox 14 not to just have a happy, safe, and 4th, but everyone at home to have a happy and safe holiday as well. But what's your favorite holiday? That's our question of the day. It could be today, it could be Christmas, Halloween, Thanksgiving, Memorial Day, maybe others that we're missing. We got a bevy of choices at the bottom there. Actually, surprisingly, Christmas is leading the ranks at 56%. You still got plenty of time to chime in. Just head over our Insta poll at KOAMNewsNow.com/vote. You can vote using the KOAM News Now app for iOS and Android. And of course, we have it up on Facebook where you can chime in with your thoughts as well. Before we hit the break, let's head to the mothership and see what's coming up on CBS Mornings.
I'm Nate Burleson. Coming up on CBS Mornings, we'll meet the first family of fireworks and see how they're preparing for some 400 4th of July celebrations across the country. There's nothing like a good fireworks show. You know that. That's coming up on CBS Mornings.
We take this time to honor today's four-state hero, Staff Sergeant Samuel Inman. The Galena, Kansas native served from 1951 to 1953 in Germany as part of the Army Combat Engineers, where he served as an advanced engineering instructor. This decorated veteran earned the Good Conduct Medal, as well as Sharpshooter and Korean Service Ribbon. To Staff Sergeant Samuel Inman, we thank you, today's four-state hero.
All right, kicking off birthdays this morning, we want to wish a happy 4th to Logan Whitworth. Birthday was on Saturday, but nonetheless, happy birthday, Logan.
We wish a happy 39th anniversary to Mike and Janet Saiganero. Their anniversary was on Saturday, and they are Logan's grandparents.
Happy anniversary to those two. We're going to continue on now to Joplin. Jacob Tatum turning 14. And of course, this is from love from the family. So happy birthday, Jacob.
We are wishing a happy birthday to Skylar Carnley. Skylar is turning 17 and is an Erie, Kansas native.
All right, we are continuing on to Logan Brewster, turning 21. I bet he had a good trip there, I think venturing overseas there, but happy 21st to you, Logan.
We are wishing a very happy birthday to Ben Hutto. Ben is turning 32 years old and is a Columbus native.
We'll head north up the road a little way to Weir, Kansas. Happy 37th to Miss Amanda York. Happy birthday to you.
We are wishing a happy birthday to Adam Bayou. Adam is turning 42. He is a Fort Scott native, and his birthday was on Saturday.
Still, happy birthday to you, Adam. We're going to continue on out of Chanute with love from Mom. It's a happy 51st to Greg Locke. If you see Greg out in Chanute, everyone, be sure to give him a shout out. Happy birthday, Greg.
We are wishing a happy birthday to Patricia Wallace. Patricia is turning 70 years young and is a Fort Scott native as well.
All right, our next anniversary on the list is happy 22nd to Archie and Patricia Wallace. They're 22nd this go around, and now the Fort Scott as well. Happy anniversary to you two.
We are wishing a happy birthday to Marlene Cox. Marlene is a Lamar native, and she is turning 79 years young.
More anniversaries. We have Brent and LaDonna Boyd, 27 years of wedded bliss together. Happy anniversary to you two.
We have another anniversary, Bob and Debbie Good. They are Parsons, Kansas. This is the golden anniversary for them. They have reached the half-century mark.
All right, and on to Erie, Kansas. Jim and Lois Carlson, their anniversary was on Saturday, but nonetheless, let's wish them a happy 56 still. It might be better late than never, but still, happy anniversary to you two.
We've got just a few more birthdays. Linda Jeffries of Columbus, Kansas. We wish you a very happy birthday. We have a birthday for Jim Houston, who is a Bartlett, Kansas native. Tommy Botorf, who is turning 75 years young, from Crestline. And Indigo Nelson, that's an awesome name, is a Columbus native. Happy birthday, Indigo. Nancy Church of Miami, Oklahoma, is turning 68. We have another anniversary, Ed and Trina Punudo, and their 33rd anniversary. We have another birthday, Wally Ball of Carterville. Dean Faya, who is turning 70 years young, from Nevada. Happy birthday from Anthony, Don, and the kids. And just a couple more anniversaries, Jared and Michelle Dietz. They have reached their 19th year wedding anniversary, and they are also Pittsburgh natives. And last but not least, we have Mike and Jody Bryant. They have reached the Steph Curry year of anniversaries, their 30th anniversary, and they are residents of our month.
And that is it for birthdays and anniversaries this morning. If you want to have us give you a birthday anniversary shout out, easy to do. Just send it our way to birthdays@KOAMTV.com or birthdays@KOAMNewsNow.com. That's not the only thing you can do online. You can be a part of the KOAM Birthday Club by going to our website and signing up. Not only can you also ensure that you get happy birthday wishes from us, you also get some special deals from local businesses. So head over anytime to KOAMNewsNow.com and sign up for the KOAM Birthday Club. And coming up in the morning news, transitions over to Fox 14, we'll meet a Marine Corps veteran who wants to serve other men and women who struggled and served with the transition to civilian life. That's Brandon Murphy, by the way. His mission to bringing attention to the high rate of suicide among veterans. We'll have that coming up at 7 o'clock on the other side. But let's get to our forecast here, because our front that gave us our rain and thunderstorm chances throughout much of the weekends lifted well to the north now. Still producing some storms across a good part of Iowa this morning. But we're getting our chance to dry out after we had to deal with a bevy of thunderstorms the other day, and certainly going into the last evening. On the average, though, we at least got some beneficial rain out of this. A good number of us averaging out about 0.4 of an inch. But this is our main weather headline, not just for today, but through much of the week. All these heated advisories taking us until we hit midnight going into Friday. So it may look nice from 7th and Range Line, but it's warm already at 77. Feels like 78 with that dew point at 73. Everyone's in the mid to upper 70s right now, and we're going to continue to see the temperatures rise throughout the day underneath partly to mostly sunny skies. In fact, 93 by noon. We'll push highs today about 98 with the south breeze at about 5 to 15. It's going to be hot for the evening to start things out, but then we'll drop to 91 by 8 o'clock. I'm thinking mid 80s still by 10 o'clock with that slight breeze out of the south and southwest at 5 to 10. But this is your heat indices. It's going to feel with the humidity like it's 101 to about 107 this afternoon. Then the numbers barely get a break, but it'll still feel like the upper 70s to near 80 though as we go into your Tuesday morning. And then with highs near 99 tomorrow with a quiet sky again, the humidity is going to make it feel like we're back between 101 and 107 degrees once again. And we'll see if this will continue throughout much of the week with one last look at the 7-day coming up.
No one was home at one of the duplexes. However, emergency responders rescued a wheelchair-bound resident from the other duplex. The fire marshal has been called to investigate the cause of the fire. However, officials say it appears the fire started in the shared attic space above and spread between the two units. 2 men are dead in 2 separate crashes in Southwest Missouri. One crash happened Saturday night just after 7:30 on I-49, 2 miles south of Sheldon in Barton County. According to the Missouri State Highway Patrol, 57-year-old Wayne Sprinkle was riding a motorcycle and swerved to avoid something on the roadway. Lost control and overturned. Sprinkle was pronounced dead at the scene. The other crash also happened on Saturday night just after 9 on Elder Road, about 4.5 miles west of Diamond in Newton County. Officials with the Missouri Highway Patrol say 51-year-old Brian Bradley of Diamond was riding an ATV when it traveled off the roadway. Authorities say Bradley overcorrected and that resulted in the ATV overturning. Bradley was also pronounced dead at the scene. And the Grand River Dam Authority Police Department says they recovered a body from the Dripping Springs area of Grand Lake. Officials say they received a call regarding a cliff jumper that did not resurface from the lake around 6:30 Saturday evening. The GRDA says water rescue units arrived on the scene and recovered the body about 30 minutes after the incident. The investigation is ongoing and no other details were released. That's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door.
And as I promised, one last look at the 7-day forecast here. It's going to be hot and humid today, but at least we're dry for the 4th this go around. Highs near 98. Heat indices, though, will make it feel like 105 on the average across the area, pushing 99 on your Tuesday afternoon with, again, heat indices back between 100 and 105. And as far as Wednesday, Thursday, Friday go, those alert days are up for good reason. Not only because we have temperatures pushing into the lower triple digits between 100 and 102, the heat and the humidity will make it feel like it'll be pushing 110 in some spots. So something that we're certainly going to keep an eye on as we go throughout the course of the week. In the meantime, though, coming up today at noon, we're going to make some fresh watermelon lemonade in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen. And the morning news will continue on KOAM with the CBS Morning News next, actually CBS Mornings. In fact, we have Akron Police releasing video of the Jalen Walker shooting. And ahead, we got the latest on the investigation into the death of the 25-year-old victim.
Or you can switch over with us on Fox 14, where your only local morning news continues. This morning, we'll meet a family whose native heirlooms were stolen and the story of how they got them back. Plus, Jeannie Moos has the story of celebration and wrong addresses. We'll explain.
So be sure you stick with us. We're going to wrap things up here, but keep things going on 14 in a few minutes. We'll see you back here tomorrow morning.
And we'll see you today at noon.